What's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson's Court. Today, I'm super excited to talk to you today about the draft lottery. It is tonight. We'll see what teams can get that top 3 pick, who can change your franchise around for them. Also, the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals start tonight. Well, just the Eastern Conference Finals tonight, but they both start this week. And it's going to be a really good conference finals for the East and the West because these are the 4 best teams left in the NBA playoffs. Now, first, I'll just go ahead and talk about draft lottery and say the good stuff for last. The number 1 team, well, actually, there's 3 teams that have the same lottery probability. I'm looking at it right here because I don't know, off the top of my head or anything like that, but the Houston Rockets, the Orlando Magic, and the Detroit Pistons all have a 14% chance to get the number 1 pick. Then you got then you got Oklahoma City Thunder with 12.50. And then you've got Indiana at 10.50%. So, we really want to get that top 5 pick. We love to get a top 3 pick. You never know what's going to happen. Because Orlando got a top 3 pick recently. I know Houston did, and I know Detroit did. So, hopefully Indiana can get up there. I know we struggled a lot this year and, made some moves and stuff towards the end of the season, which was good. We needed to make that happen, and so we need a bright young future to see where we can go and where our team can take us. Now, really, that's about it on the draft lottery. It's tonight. Really, all it does is just shows, who's going to get, potentially the top 5, what the order of the draft lottery is going to be in. But I was reading here that it said when they changed the new system in 2017 that the team with the worst record will receive no worse than the 5th pick. So the Houston Rockets will receive at least a top 5 pick in the NBA draft lottery. So, I guess that's kind of cool because, if you do have the worst record, you do deserve to, have a top 5 pick because you're the worst in the league. So, we'll see what happens tonight. I believe that comes on at what time? It comes on at 8 o'clock because the first game is at 8:30 or 9 o'clock between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. Now, this is actually a rematch of the 2020 Eastern Conference Finals when the Miami Heat beat the Boston Celtics in the bubble to go on and face the Los Angeles Lakers to eventually lose in the finals. But who says this isn't Miami's year to turn it all around and be like, hey, we're changing it, we're doing this, it's our year. But, the Boston Celtics, played well. Being able to beat, sweep the Nets, sweep them, and then take them, the defending champs, to Game 7, beat them in a pretty, blowout kind of game, and now they're facing the Miami Heat. Now I think it's going to be a great series. This is going to be a good defensive game. I feel like, honestly, if I had to bet on the under every single time for total points, I'm probably going to take it because I know it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game with really good defense, with everybody that Miami Heat has, and with everybody that the Boston Celtics have. But, man, this is just going to be a great series. And, honestly, I could see this going to 7 games as well because it's such a defensive game. They've got really, star players. The Heat got Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Bam, P.J. Tucker, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. The Boston Celtics have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams, Al Horford, which was huge in that Boston Celtics series, was definitely able to win them a game and, push them on to a Game 7. Oh, man. The Miami Heat had a good run. They beat the Hawks 4-1, shut down Trae Young. Then they beat the Philadelphia 76ers, beat them 4-2. Joel Embiid was hurt, fractured his orbital bone. James Harden just didn't play how he was supposed to. I probably could have went 7 games with the way that series was going, but Miami Heat definitely deserved to come out on top. Now, if Joel Embiid was healthy, we might be having a different conversation on who's in the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. I think that the Boston Celtics have the most improved, like I've been saying, because LeBron is no longer in The East, I mean, yes, I know he wasn't, 2 years ago, but still, they were always running into him, and so now not to have them, I mean, they run into Giannis, and they're able to beat Giannis, so, I mean, hey, who says they can't beat, the Miami Heat, which is also a really good team, but I've got the Boston Celtics winning this in 7 games, and like I said, the reason I have it going to 7 games is it's such a defensive game. I know that it's going to come down to the wire on most games, and like I said, it's a rematch of the 2020 bubble, and let's see who improved from and the rosters changed on both sides just a little bit as well. So, man, this has just been a great playoff so far for the East. Now, if we go to the Western Conference Finals, we've got the Dallas Mavericks playing the Golden State Warriors. Now, this is a 4 versus 3 matchup, where in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's a 1 versus 2 matchup. Now, the Warriors were able to get here by first beating the Denver Nuggets 4-1, beating Jokic, the back-to-back MVP, but didn't really have any help. Aaron Gordon was his second best option, or Will Barton, and you're not going to win a chip with those two being your second best option. So hopefully Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. come back healthy. Then they move on and face the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, this was a good series. This is probably one of the most better series in the whole entire playoffs, just because, great Warriors experience going to the chip, winning the chip, really having the same team basically, except for, Jordan Poole, a few other players. But then the Memphis Grizzlies, I think the second youngest team in the league, and then being able to, take the Warriors to 6 games. Clay comeback, Game 6 Clay is a different breed. He's another animal. But Joel Moran did get hurt. I know injuries are part of the game, but like I said, maybe this could have been the Grizzlies' year to go, at least to the Western Conference Finals, but the Warriors were just too much, and, they won with Ja, and they lost with Ja, and then they won without Ja. So to be able to, show that, they had a great, record and won more games without Ja actually in the regular season, it's just something to, take in consideration of how good the Grizzlies really are and how good they will be to come. But like I said, the Warriors were able to pull it out, and now they're in the Western Conference Finals. Now, when we talk about the Dallas Mavericks, I didn't expect them to get there. I really didn't. And honestly, I had them losing in the first round. The reason I had them losing in the first round because they were playing the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz is a great regular season team. They're phenomenal. And I think they've, had the same team for a while now. They're able to, they should have been able to, probably at least make it to the second round, and at least not to the conference finals, even if they lost to the Warriors or whoever. But still, to see them lose in 6 games, they were up to, I think. But, just to see the Jazz lose, they just remind me of, as much as I didn't want to say it in another podcast, but now it's coming back to me. They're a regular season team. I don't know what they're going to do with Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell. They keep the same team. Do they get a different head coach? There's a lot of questions the Jazz have to ask, because you can be a great regular season team, but you have to be able to take that step, that leap, and to get to the NBA Finals, because that's the goal, guys. But the Mavericks were able to win 6 games. Then they go on and play the Phoenix Suns, who were the number 1 seed, the best team in the NBA this year, had the best record in the NBA this year, but lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 7 games. The Suns were up 2-0. The Suns blew a 2-0 lead. The Mavericks were able to come back and win 7 games. Now, please tell me how, the Mavericks did this. Now, the only way that I see the Mavericks winning and beating the Golden State Warriors is that they have a season just like when Dirk won it back in 2011 versus Miami Heat. Now, when Dirk won, they beat, Oklahoma City Thunder with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. They beat Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. So, I mean, obviously they played another team as well. And those were the, 2 really good teams that they lost to, or that they beat. And, just to see the Dallas Mavericks here, beating the Jazz, who I thought were going to beat them, and the Phoenix Suns didn't think the Dallas Mavericks were going to beat them. So I actually didn't even have them winning either of those series, whether they won or lost. And now they're playing the Golden State Warriors. Now, I think Luka does need more help. I think he's showing you that he is the man. He is a future superstar. He's my favorite young player, so no disrespect on him for, saying I didn't have them winning series. But the reason I didn't have him winning series is because he doesn't have enough help. Now, I didn't think Dirk had enough help when he beat LeBron James and, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. But he was able to play fundamental basketball, and they were able to, really play some of the best basketball that, Dirk's ever played in his life. So maybe, that's where Luka is right now in his career. Maybe he doesn't want to share. Maybe it's next year or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he just needs, I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie is the answer. I think there's another player that, he might need, like a big man or something like that, because Luka's going to take 30 shots a game. But, with Dallas Mavericks playing the Golden State Warriors, like I said, this does kind of remind me of the Heat versus the Mavericks in the finals, just because the Warriors are so experienced. They've won the title multiple times. The only 2 times they haven't made the NBA Finals was the past 2 years, was the bubble and last year. And so for them to be back now with Clay being back, Curry's playing lights out, Jordan Poole's the third splash brother, Draymond Green's being who he is. Gary Payton II did get hurt in the second round versus I think it was Dylan Brooks or somebody, hurt him, he hyperextended his elbow and I think broke it or something. But really sucks to see. But with just the experience of Golden State and everything that they have, I think Golden State comes out on top here, and I think Golden State comes out on top. I think they win it in, because I feel like Golden State could run away with it, but then they could have a bad game. Luka could play well. I did see in the regular season that actually the Mavericks won 3-1. No, Clay didn't play 2 of those games. I think Curry might not have played 1 of those games, but they've got a full roster now, so they're ready to go. And I think that the Warriors win in 6 games. So I have the Western Conference Finals, the Warriors winning in 6, and the Boston Celtics winning in 7. Now, that's a matchup that I would love to see. Now, either of these teams making it into the playoffs now. Nobody won the chip last year. Like I said, the Bucks won the chip last year. And the Phoenix Suns were in the championship last year too. So neither of these 4 teams were in the championship a year ago. The only team that has the most relevant experience is the Miami Heat when they were in the bubble. So, could they make it back there? We'll see. But, wow, guys. This is just going to be a phenomenal Eastern Conference Finals and a Western Conference Finals. I'm just saying, if the Dallas Mavericks win, if they win, I probably would say they're probably going to win the chip, because I think it's going to be that Dirk year if they beat the Warriors. Like I said, I don't see it happening. I don't think it will happen. I think it's going to be Golden State versus Boston Celtics, and I think that's going to be a great matchup as well. And I would love to see, Jason Tatum, get his first ring. That'd be cool. But, does Curry deserve another ring? Does he just add to his legacy, the greatest shooter of all time, and, just being who he is, and, that team, coming back for Klay Thompson 2 years, being hurt, and now finally, showing what he is made of, and, that he did miss a beat, being gone for that long. So, this first game of the Eastern Conference Finals starts tonight, and we're super excited to watch that. I will be watching that. I'm hype. I'm ready. And then the Western Conference Finals start tomorrow, so it's every other day for each team, which kind of makes sense. But, we've got good basketball going on, and like I said, if you're not watching basketball right now, you're missing out on some of the greatest basketball that you'll ever see right now, because the league is in good hands, with all the young stars, with Luka, with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Joel Embiid, Giannis, obviously, didn't make it. But, just, this whole playoffs and everything that's happening, Jokic wins back-to-back MVPs. Jamal Murray didn't play this year. Ja got hurt. What the New Orleans Pelicans were able to do versus the Phoenix Suns, take them to 6 games, started off 1-15, wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs, statistically. And then when they're playing games and able to, make it there, the Minnesota Timberwolves, were able to make the playoffs this year. So super exciting to see that. But, the most disappointing is the Brooklyn Nets, being swept. But, they had a lot of problems this year and things like that. But whatever, it is what it is. Basketball is basketball. And I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top of the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. So thank you guys all so much for tuning in. This is a short video this week. It's just me. But next week, I should have Beagle on the channel, and we're going to talk some, probably the NBA championship and who he has and who I have. And if my predictions are right, I know who I'm going to take. But, if my predictions are wrong, then, I might have to make completely different predictions. So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy watching the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. And let's see who gets the #1 pick in the draft lottery.